Chani, Bantwana Be Kosi, and welcome to yet another Tubersode of Flow Bees Hive. Happy 2023. It is the first Tubersode of the year. I'm super excited and I hope you had an amazing December and some cool holidays with your family. And if you are tuning in for the first time, don't forget to click the subscribe button. And if you are a returning subscriber, we are back and at it again. You know what it do. So today we are going to do a cool episode about setting God goals. Now I know it's the beginning of the year. We're all setting our New Year's resolutions, and we are super excited about our plans. And okay, so I'm outside today, guys. I decided to shoot this one outside just to get into the year with a fresh feel and, just a fresh start. So I know that it will be noisy. It will be noisy because cars are passing by. People are passing by and whatnot. But I hope that you will overlook all of that and, I'm taking advantage of the natural lighting, of the natural deco and all of that. So let's focus on that and not anything else. So as I was saying, in the past years I've set my New Year's resolutions and it was all good and well, but I felt that it limited me in some sort of way, and I felt that this sort of way of setting goals is something that will help you get more out of your New Year's resolutions and grow even more, even with God, grow deeper in your relationship with God and your knowledge of God and all of that. So yeah, today I'm going to be expanding on some of that. And it's also something that, as usually when I set my goals, I know from December I've got my word. From December, I've got my word of the year. I've got, my plans already. But this year, it happened differently. December, I was just, chilled. And it's only now that I'm preparing myself to, make some of the plans are coming through. Some of my goals are coming through. Some I'm just still speaking to God about. And so I really feel good about the way in which I'm choosing to set my goals this year. And I really hope that it works for you too. I hope this is not going to be too long because you know what? Go busy. Yeah, let's get into it. So number one, we're not going to have the word of the day today because in itself today's episode has pieces of the word of God here and there. So yeah, let's just get into it. The first step I feel that will lead you to achieving setting godly goals is surrendering your plans to God, right? I will be looking down every now and then because I've written down some notes. Proverbs 16 verse 9 says, a man's heart plans his ways, but God directs his steps. What does this mean? In your heart, you have your heart's desires, you have your plans, but God is the one that will show you how to execute and go about executing those plans. Right? So it is important that you give your plans to God or to ask God and consult God what it is that He wants to do in your life in this season, in this new year, in this time. So you need to allow for the will of God to flow through your plans. Surrendering your plans to God allows His will to flow through them. And it also prevents the friction of you pushing your will against God's will, because sometimes you have what you desire, what you want, and if you don't invite God, if you don't consult God and ask God if it is truly what He wants for your life, then you may find yourself forcing things that God did not permit or allow into your life, or God does not desire from you in this season. So it allows for the will of God to flow and for your will and God's will not to be a friction against each other, but for you to allow God to execute whatever it is that He wants you to execute in this season, right? So a practical way, how how do I surrender my plans to God? So what you do is, if you are coming into the year like I've done in previous years, and you've already got plans, you've already got goals, you already have wishes and hopes that you want to achieve, then you tell those things to God in your prayer. You tell God, as we are going into fasting, some of us are going into fasting and things like that. So it is a time to tell God, Lord, this is what I want to see in my family. This is what I want to see in my business. This is what I want to see in my career. This is what I want to see in my personal life, in my relationships. This is what I want to change, the kind of behaviors that I want to change maybe. You tell God all of those things, and then you ask for God to reveal if whatever it is that you desire, it is the same thing that He desires for you, right? So you tell God, this is what I want, and then you ask God to reveal that out of everything that you've stated, that you say you want, what is it that is aligned to His will and purpose for you in this season? And then after that, once you've heard from God and you see that, okay, God is highlighting you from reading from His word, or however that God speaks to you, God has highlighted what it is that He wants you to go ahead and do, and what it is that He's not so keen for you to do in this season, then you let go. You pray that God helps you to let go. You pray that God helps you to let go of whatever it is that you were hoping to do and execute in this season, but God is not willing for you to. So you pray that God helps you to let go of those. I hope you understand. So let's surrender our goals and plans to God. Step number 2, remove chronological pressure from your plans. Right? A lot of times we've heard a lot of people when it comes to goal setting, advice about goal setting, they'll tell you that when you make your goals, you need to say when you want to execute, what it is, like be as clear as you can with your goals. But we are children of God, right? And we trust in God. So removing chronological pressure from your plans, this is what it does, right? So once you've surrendered your plans to God, then you have to trust in God's timing. You cannot want to do things and rush and do things the way that you want to do them. You need to believe that God is ordering your steps, and God's timing is not the same as our timing. God's ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. So you may have thought, okay, I'm going to start here and end here. But God says, start here, then go there, then go there, then go there. So you need to remove that chronological the time frame in which you want to execute your plans, right? And what this does is that it also helps you to stay hopeful, right, in your plans. Because when we are planning and we set a goal, let's say you're saying, okay, I'm going to the gym, and then in 3 months, this is what I want my body to look like. Once your body doesn't look that way in 3 months, you feel discouraged, and you may altogether abandon that goal. But if you believe in God's timing, and you also allow for your body to go through those changes, because maybe for some of us, it is our first time getting into exercise or changing our diets or whatever. So you don't know how your body is going to react to that, and if it will react in that time that you've set. And so it is important for you to allow your body to adjust to that. In the same way, you don't want to limit yourself to time. You want to allow yourself to be immersed and grow in whatever that it is that you've set for yourself, right? So you need to leave it to God and trust in God's timing, right? Point number 3, do not negotiate with yourself, right? Guys, once you have made or set your goals, you commit. You are going in full force. Remember, you are setting realistic goals. You are setting achievable goals for yourself, which means that you have gone through risk management with your goals. You have checked if it is something that is possible for you to do. So if you've done that, then there is no reason for excuses once you are halfway or when things start getting difficult in executing your goal. No, you do not stop halfway. You push through until the end. Remember, the goals that you are setting them so that you can be a better person, so that you can be your best self. So do not cheat your best self. Do not negotiate with yourself and say, if for example, gym, I think it will apply to a lot of these goals. The example of gym. If you've set the goal to gym and maybe achieve a certain body for yourself, you cannot say when the going gets hard, it gets hard to get up, it gets hard, to do the exercises and all of that. Sorry also for the change of the lighting. It seems like natural lighting also has its cons. Anyway, once it gets hard in the gym, it doesn't mean that now you need to give up on your goal and change your plans altogether. No, you need to push through because you've promised yourself, Uguti, this is how I want to look and this is how I want to feel. I want to be healthier. I want to be better in this year. So then you push through. You cannot make any excuses. You cannot let laziness to get into the way of your vision. You cannot let distractions get into the way of your visions and your goals. So you push through, right? You can't change your mind about your goals, right? You do not negotiate, right? That's point number 3. Let's move on to point number 4. Point number 4, learn the lessons, right? This is one that really fascinates me. When it came to me, I was like, this is really profound. Remember, guys, when you're setting your goals, you're not just rushing to whatever that you've planned. And another point that accommodates the example of gym. If you've set your goal to go to gym, to train and whatever, it's just not that to lose certain kilograms or whatever. That's not all that you're looking at. You need to learn things about yourself. You need to learn things about God within that journey. You need to learn things about the obstacles that you face, right? You need to watch how you react. You need to see how you feel about certain things. See how you bounce back from bad days. You need to learn all of those things. Otherwise, it's futile. It's like, okay, so you go, you achieve your goal. That's it. You're done. You haven't learned anything that you can apply in another avenue of your life, Like, for instance, if you're setting a goal in business, perhaps, right? And within that goal, let's say, for instance, you wanna be efficient in your work. Like, let's say, for instance, career. Let's just say career and not business. You want to be efficient in your work. You want to meet your deadlines. You want to, be that girl. You want to be that guy. And although you are that person, you're meeting your deadlines or whatever, but maybe your boss is just not noticing that you have made this change and you've improved in that way. And that teaches you that you need to be patient with your boss. And at the end of the day, you find that when you're patient with your boss, it yields. And at the end of the day, your boss realizes that you're really working hard. And you can use that lesson of patience with maybe your partner in your relationships or any other relationship in your life, right? So when you are learning in your journey, it also helps that you don't get frustrated, because as you are going, you're learning with, okay, this waking up early is really hard for me. How can I make it better? Maybe if I wake up and I play some music, or if I wake up and I drink some coffee. So you learn along the way what makes whatever difficult task leading up to achieving your goal easier for you. And it makes you learn something about yourself, right? Remember, guys, you need to be aware. You need to be alert. You cannot just blindly pursue your goals without learning something that will help you with another thing along the way. So learn something from your journey, right? You also need to look at the kind of people that you attract as you are in that goal. Maybe gym again, the kind of people that you're meeting. You don't know. Those people can help you in your business. Those people can help you in your personal relationships. The kind of people that you are meeting in the gym just by having that goal to lose the weight or to look a certain way. The opportunities that are presented to you within pursuing that particular goal. So you need to be aware, because then that can lead to something else. That can lead to something greater. It can open another opportunity for you that you wouldn't have learned otherwise. Point number 5, and the final point. Do not be fixated on a particular outcome, right? So you don't want to, your focus is not just that one thing. Yes, that is your goal, but you need to be aware that there's something else that you can benefit out of whatever that you're doing other than your particular goal. I made examples here. Before I go into my examples, you need to have an open mind, right? You need to learn other things, just like learn the lessons. You need to learn other things outside of your goal. So do not be so fixated on achieving that goal that you miss other goals. You understand? So maybe let's say your goal at gym is to lose a number of kilograms, but that also maybe hand in hand with going to gym, you've also put in place a diet, and maybe you don't achieve losing those kilograms, but you've gotten yourself into the habit and into the discipline of eating healthy, and now you've dropped that habit of eating junk. That is something, although you didn't execute or achieve that goal, but you got something out of pursuing that goal, right? Another example that I can make, maybe you were like, I'm trying to find a man, I'm trying to find a husband in this year at church, someone who fears God or whatever. So maybe you going to church more often, you get into small groups, you spending a lot of your time in church because you're looking for someone. But instead of getting someone, you find that you grow in the Lord and you discover your spiritual gifts, and your spiritual gift is activated, and you're serving in the church. Instead of meeting someone, you learned something about yourself, you learned something about God, and you found something that is greater than what you were planning on achieving, right? Okay, guys, I hope that was helpful. That is where we're gonna end this Tubersode. I'm looking forward to an exciting year. Engage, speak to me, tell me what is your formula when it comes to New Year's resolutions and goal setting and all of those lovely things. Remember to subscribe, remember to like, to comment, and to share the channel. We're back, baby, and we are at it, and we're better, and we're bigger, and we're going for it. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the year, and may it be well with you and all your loved ones. Remember to spread love, light, and positivity. I love you.